Yele Nation, happy Mother's Day to every mother out there. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for every sacrifice that you have made to make your children happy. So, moving on from that, today's tutorial is on how to fix a front zipper or a fly zipper as it's popularly called. This is the end product that we're going for, and I know this is a whole shot. Next week I'm going to show the step by step or breakdown of how I made the entire shorts, but for today we are going to focus on just the fly zipper. So stay tuned next week, put on your notification bells so you don't miss out how I made this beautiful unique looking pair of shorts. So the first thing that I did right now is to measure 1.5 inches from the edge of my fabric. You will learn how to make this pattern from scratch next week, but I just wanted to focus on the fly zipper. So I measured 1.5 inches at the edge for both legs of my fabric, for the right side and the left side. So what you have to do is to just pick the right leg of your shorts, the right leg, and take your zipper and face it right side to right side. That is the part that has the zipper part or the iron part. Make sure that it is facing the right side of your fabric, just like you are seeing me do. I wish I had a shorter zip, but it was until I started the video that I realized that I didn't have the right color nor the right length. But just bear with me, and for your own project you use like a 8 inches zipper or skirt zipper or short zipper. Now you see the line that I made. I'm going to put the edge of my zipper on that particular line, that 1.5 inch line that we took at the beginning. I'm going to put my zipper at that edge just like that, and put the iron parts on the bottom of the line. Just place it like you are seeing me place it on your own shorts pattern, just like that, and then you sew on the other side, not on the side that is on the line, but on the other side of the zipper. That's the first place you are going to sew down. I try to make this tutorial as simple as it could possibly be. Just follow it, and don't worry, you'll be having fly zippers up and down any day, all night before you know what's happening. So I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and sew that part. Now after sewing, you're going to fold it like you are seeing me do, gingerly, gingerly, like that. Once you fold it like that, your zip flyer pattern is already going to be showing. Yeah, like you're going to see it live and direct, just as you have folded it like that. It's as simple and as straightforward as that for your right leg. Now after folding it like that, I will advise you to iron it down, iron everything down so everybody is cooperating and every part of it is cooperating. After ironing, then I advise that you pin it down. Now normally there's supposed to be a curve going down there, and that's the curve I'm going to make next. Now if you're having problem with making your curve, you can take the pattern that we're going to create from next week and cut out the curve part of the pattern and place it on it, so that will be your guideline for how the curve should be. You can also trace it out with a chalk, with a pencil, however it is you want, but I don't want to trace it out because I don't want to stain my fabric. So you just take the curve, go down like that, and curve it around it. Now I would advise you not to make the curve yet. I would advise you just to iron and pin it for now. I made the mistake of making the curve first before my next steps, but I made the mistake on your behalf, so you don't have to make that mistake. But when it is finally time for you to give the curve on your shorts, I will tell you when it is that time. But I jumped the gun and I did it first because I know what I am doing and I know how to maneuver it. But for beginners learner, don't draw your curve yet, just iron and pin it down. But when it's time to make your curve, this is how you are going to do it. Look at how the curve looks, very nice and fine. When it is time for you to do it, I'm going to show you when it is time for you to make your curve. Now, moving on to the next step, or the step that it was supposed to be before the curve. Remember that I said we made a straight line for both the right side and the left side. Now on that straight line that we made, I'm going to place the other edge of my fabric on that line and then just sew it down. Make sure that the iron teeth is at the bottom of the curve, and then sew it down. Make sure that the right side and the left side are on the same level when you sew on your zip, not that one side is higher than the other side. Now after sewing it, this is what you are going to have. Your zipper flyer is already ready to be made. Look at it. Now tell me, is it difficult to make a fly zipper? It's not difficult at all. So now because I want this flap at the back to cover a little bit. I want it to cover my zipper a little bit, so that once I unzip the zipper, that flap at the back will be what will be showing once you unzip your zipper, just to give it a nice sophisticated touch. That flap will be showing. Now the flap, I'm going to serge it later. I advise you to also serge your own, so that it will have a neat finish at the bottom of it, or whatever it is. So I will advise you to serge it and serge all the rough edges to give it a neat look. Now make sure that you arrange the flap at the back correctly so it covers that way. Then at this point you can sew the curve of the top stitching. You know, the top stitching that I did before that I wasn't supposed to do. Now you can sew the top stitching, but it's only at the bottom where the curve is. That's where you sew everything together, including the flap. Please do not sew the flap with the curve at the top. Only the bottom should you sew all the pieces together. Now after that, we can then sew the crotch area together from the bottom all the way to the iron part of your zipper. So from the bottom all the way to the iron part of your zipper. And now I'm going to show you what all that look like. Now from the bottom of my crotch, or from the tip of my crotch, I'm going to sew it all the way to the iron part, or very very close to the iron part of my zipper. If you've watched all my how to make pants or how to make shorts video, you should be able to know what I mean by this crotch sewing area, or how to sew this crotch. I'm going to put some cards in the description, so you can also check out those videos to see how to make your shorts from scratch to the top. Now the next thing is to then sew the curve that I was telling you about, but make sure that everything is arranged at the back. Just make sure that the flap at the back is facing the right side that you want it to face, and then you sew the bottom of the crotch, or you sew it from the top all the way round the bottom. So this is the right time for you to do it. Now after sewing all of that, I'm going to then take it to the ironing board, and I'm going to iron my shorts. Now looking at it, our short is ready, and I'm going to iron it. Make sure that everything is clean and neat and well done, and the flap that I was talking about is placed on the other side. And make sure that you iron it also, iron it down, and then you serge all the rough edges of your shorts or whatever it is. And this is how it's going to look. You see the way it is going to look on the other side and on the inside, and the crotch area, and everything is looking good. Now if you want to see more of this video, how I put everything together to make this beautiful shorts, stay tuned for next week. Put on your notification bells. Till then, goodbye, subscribe.